If you're not familiar with Avatar Nutrition, what it is it's an online macro calculator and nutrition coach. It gives you weekly macronutrient and calorie targets to hit dependent on your goals and your progress, and most of all, most importantly, dependent on you and your lifestyle. When I was considering signing up for Avatar Nutrition in the beginning of the year, right around the New Year's, I was looking for different reviews to see if I wanted to actually sign up, but a lot of the reviews were outdated. And Avatar Nutrition, one thing that is definitely a positive is that they continuously have new features and they continuously try to make the service and the app better for the user. And so there was a lot of features that haven't been reviewed, and I wanted to fill that gap. So if you're on the fence whether or not you should sign up for Avatar Nutrition, my goal for this video is to, give you enough information so that you can make your own educated decision on whether or not you think it's for you. And for perhaps my subscribers, you don't know what Avatar Nutrition is, I want to take, I hope that this is an opportunity for me to introduce you to this service because I am a fan of it. And this is not a sponsored review or anything like that. I am a paying customer. I get charged $19.99 per month, every month, just like everyone else. And it is a subscription model, $20 a month, and you get access to their site, the app, their expertise, their coaching, really everything on the site here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not just gonna go through the website with you, really like the homepage or anything. You can see that for yourself by going to avatarnutrition.com. I wanna take you through the back end to show you practically what it looks like on a day-to-day basis to use, and on a weekly basis to use this app to weigh in how to set your goals and what it actually is like to use the app and to use the service. So if we go into my computer here, this is the homepage, avatarnutrition.com, and the first thing that you see is eat what you love, look how you want, and feel better than ever. And Avatar Nutrition's philosophy is definitely based around flexible dieting and if it fits your macros. Now, they do not, and I'm gonna say this right up front so I don't waste anyone's time, they do not have a keto option, okay? So they don't have that option here. They do have a high fat option, and you can customize whether you prefer higher fats or higher carbs in your diet, but it's not full on keto or probably not even really considered low carb, but I'll get to that in a minute. So again, I'm not gonna go through everything here. I'm gonna show you what it looks like on the back end once you actually sign up. When you log into Avatar Nutrition, this is the first thing that you see. And the first thing that you see is your macros, which is the most important thing. That's pretty much the point of this service. The point of this service is that you tell them about you and then you set your goal. And each week you weigh in on Avatar Nutrition with your body weight and your body fat percentage. And I'll tell you how I calculate that here in a minute. And then depending on your goal and where you're at, they will give you a set of macros here. So for example, at this current moment, at the time of filming for this week, dependent on my current goal, my protein is at 165 grams, 138 grams of carbs, and 34 grams of fat. I'm about 1,500 calories right now, and I am on the moderate fat loss setting. For the last, about 5 months or so, I've been on the slow, sustainable fat loss setting, and I've had a handful of non-compliant weeks. I've gone on a couple vacations. I've been enjoying life. I'm in no rush to lose the fat and to, really to get where I'm at. I'm very happy with my body, but there's just slight improvements. And so I'm using this to help me along my goal. But if your goal is perhaps more rapid fat loss, perhaps muscle gain or whatever, it has that option for you. And I'll show you here in a minute after I continue going through this. So if you scroll down, it has your status. We have 4 days until my next check-in. The current goal that I'm on, which is on moderate fat loss. You look down here and it has your check-ins. So as you can see, the red is my weight and the blue is my calories. As you can see at the beginning here, we thought that my maintenance calories were a lot higher than they were based off my body weight. But experimenting with fasting and one meal a day and carnivore diet and all these crazy things that I experimented with definitely wrecked my metabolism. And so I do have a slow metabolism actually for my body size. And so I'm gonna be working on that with Avatar Nutrition to speed up my metabolism with something called reverse dieting, which I'll get to in a minute. We scroll down here, we have a tip of the day. Today's tip is that coconut sugar or sugar in the raw is not better than white granulated sugar. They are both 4 calories per gram of carb because they're carbs. So they have a tip of the day on the site here. They have articles from their blog and recipes, which I haven't made any of the recipes, but they all look really good. Peanut butter and chocolate, you cannot go wrong with that. Then at the top here, they have latest news, where they do a lot of educational content, and they have a lot of content on how to use the app and use their features as well, which is awesome. We go to the side here, we have the coaching tab, and this is a big part of it as well, is that you've got access to their expert coaches, which they have an all-star lineup. They have really good people who know what they're doing. You have access to their expertise. I just simply send them a message and they will get back to me right away, which I've done before. If I have a question about anything, about food, about macros, about, hey, I'm on fat loss, but it's not enough food for me. Should I do a reverse diet, but I also want to gain muscle, or should I do a bulking phase, or what should I, anything you want to ask them, boom, send it to them and they'll get back to you right away. And they actually are very helpful. Next one here, we have the tracker. This you can use on the mobile phone as well, or you can track your food intake here. What I like about this is similar to MyFitnessPal or Chronometer and things like that, and it has really nice features. I don't want to go too in depth on this because that would make this video longer than it needs to be. But essentially here you can see the average of what you've consumed over the week. What I really like about this is that it automatically updates with your weekly macros. So when I weigh in 4 days, and if my macros change, my goals here will change and it'll tell me what to hit. All I have to do is make this blue line go in this range. Same for each one, make this blue line go in this range. Make sure I fill this bar up all the way by tracking my food. That's it. They give you the calories, they give you the macros. You hit it with whatever foods you want. You like to eat clean, organic, vegan? Fine, do that. You like to eat Pop-Tarts and candy all day? Fine, do that, as long as you hit your macros. That's essentially their philosophy, which is really cool. A lot of control, lots of flexibility. And really briefly, just to show you what it looks like, if I hit add dinner item, I have some favorites here. If I go back, I can custom add something that wasn't in the database. I can write how many grams of protein and how many grams of carbs, and it'll tell me all that. I can hit search, and I can hit, search for general foods, butternut squash. Okay, great. Let's say I had 100 grams of that, 47 calories. I can see the carbs, the protein, hit submit. Boom, great. And let's say I had some butternut squash soup, just generic butternut squash soup. Right here, it'll tell me on the light blue line where I would be if I added that to my calories for the day, if I added that to my macros, which is really interesting and really cool to see before I hit submit, right? And then on the phone, when you hit scanner, you can scan a barcode and it'll pull that food up for you as well, which I use all the time. It's very convenient. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that because I haven't had dinner yet. And then on the side here, let's continue. We have high and low days. If I wanted high and low days, if you want that, you can do that. Where, for example, on workout days, I want higher calories, and on rest days, I'll have lower calories. But the goal for that would be at the end of the week, it's still an average, right? But on some days I'm higher, some days I'm lower. I just keep it consistent throughout the week because that's easier for me. I feel like my body gets used to it and it makes things easier. Continuing, we have check-ins, your last few set of check-ins here that you put in each week. You can also see your macro history as well. As you can see at the beginning, we thought my fat loss macros were 2,400 calories, where in reality it's about 1,615. So you can see a lot of experimenting, right? This is my first time ever tracking macros. Here's my body composition from when I started versus now. You can see there's obviously a difference, and I'm on the slow, sustainable setting. My weight is down a little bit more than 10 pounds, but I have significantly more muscle mass as well, which is awesome. And it's literally just me plugging in the macros. Recipes and blog will take you to their blog, and then you also have resources and shopping. So let's go back to the dashboard, and I'll show you the personal settings so that you can determine your lifestyle. Here for the goal settings, they have fat loss, muscle gain, reverse dieting, and maintenance. What's really cool is that each one that you click on, you can customize the speed of which you want to hit each goal. So I click on fat loss, I can do sustainable, which I've been doing for the last 5 months, or I could do moderate, which I've been doing for the last week and a half now. It's gonna be 2 weeks when I check in a few days. Or very aggressive. This would be someone who, is very experienced tracking their macros. They need rapid fat loss because they're gonna go on a stage for bodybuilding, you're competing, something like that. That, they even say here that it's not recommended for new members. You're gonna get cranky, you're not gonna have a lot of food. It's not very sustainable. If you know what you're doing, fine, we'll help you, but it's not recommended. So that's that. The sustainable, slow weight loss is recommended for most. Again, slow, sustainable weight loss is best. If you lose weight too fast, you have the risk of losing a lot of muscle mass, and you also have the risk of losing a good portion of that being muscle mass, and you also have the risk of your metabolism dropping as well, which has happened for me with all these crazy fad diets that I've tried within the last 16 months. So let's say my goal was muscle gain now. Okay, do I want to do a lean bulk, moderate bulk, or very aggressive? Again, when you're bulking, the more aggressive that you go, meaning the more surplus that you're in, the more chance you have of gaining fat as well. So I would personally do the lean one, where I'm slowly upping my calories, but that way I'm adding, I'm less likely to add fat back as well. Or reverse dieting, which is really cool that they have this. What reverse dieting is dieting backwards. So similar to how when you're in a caloric deficit and you drop your calories, your body adapts, right? So my maintenance calories are low because I've been dieting. The lower your calories go over time, your body adapts to that. It learns how to be efficient with that energy. A reverse diet is doing the opposite. It's going backwards. It's slowly adding in calories little by little each week that your body adapts. You're not gaining weight, but your calories are going up. So this allows you to maintain your weight while adding in more calories, which means maintaining your weight while having more food, which literally translates into boosting your metabolism. So if I want to do a reverse diet, which is awesome stuff, there's a lot of awesome videos on YouTube about that. That's probably going to be my next goal. I can pick the speed here. Maintenance, if I want to do a diet break, which I did for the first time last week, where you basically eat at your new maintenance. It helps with lean muscle mass retention, helps with hormones. Psychologically, you get to enjoy more food. I did that last week, and then you can set what range you are okay with either losing or gaining. When you're maintaining, there's a chance you might lose a couple pounds. There's a chance that you might gain a couple pounds. What range do you want that to be? Which is really cool. Sorry, my computer's bugging out here. And then I would hit update goal. And what would happen is my macros would adjust and it would give me a new set of macros. Then when I go to my tracker, my macros here would be updated. Now I have a new target for the day. So it's really cool. And let's continue here in the settings. That's where you set your goal. Very important part. That's, again, the main selling point of the service is very customized goals and very customizable settings. Here in the settings, you set your activity level. I have very active because I have a very active job. I'm on my feet all day. You have vacation mode, which is cool because on Monday, the day after this video is released, it's gonna be the day after Mother's Day. I'm gonna have a completely unrestricted cheat day and I'm gonna eat whatever I want to see how my body reacts to that. I'm gonna turn on vacation mode so I don't track, so it doesn't count that day, so it doesn't really mess with my macros too much for the rest of the week. Unit settings, pounds, feet, or kilos and meters. Your body fat measurement tool, whatever you're using. 7-site or 3-site calipers, tape measures. I use a very cool scale that gives me my lean body mass, my body fat, my body weight, my intracellular water, my intramuscular water, I believe, and my bone density. I used to use the Fitbit scale, very inaccurate, didn't work at all. This one is awesome. It's very accurate. I'll leave a link to it in Amazon. It's about $60. It's really good. That's what I use to track my body fat percentage each week. You put your gender. If you're vegan, you turn that on, right? This will adjust your macros a little bit if you're not eating animal products. You set your check-in day. And then on the advanced settings here, this is where it gets more customizable. You can slide whether you want higher fats or higher carbs or a balance of both. Right now, at the moment, I'm enjoying higher carbs, so I have that set. But if I wanted to enjoy higher fats, I would put it here, hit save, and it would give me more fats and less carbs on my macros. Again, there's no keto option, but you can have a higher fat setting. If I wanted a protein boost, I can do that, but I'm already at pretty high protein. I'm about 1 gram per pound of body weight. And what's really cool too is this is a new feature they just added where you can log in your daily weights instead of weekly. And it'll take the average of the week and use that as your weigh-in. So let me give you a classic example. Every morning, I weigh myself as soon as I wake up and I write it down. When I weigh in on Avatar Nutrition each week, I take the average for the week. So I add up all of those and divide it by 7. And that's the number that I use to weigh in. Why is this more effective? And I used to do that by hand. That's what I've been doing. I write it on paper and I divide it, and then I input that into Avatar Nutrition. Recently, just this week, they released this feature where if I turn this on, I can just input my weight every single morning. Granted that I'm weighing myself at the same time in the same settings every morning. and it'll take the average at the end of the week and it'll do it for me. So that's really cool that they have that. I'm actually going to turn that on after my weigh-in this week. And the reason that's more accurate is because weight fluctuates from day to day. Maybe you had more sodium, you had less water, more water, maybe you're backed up, you haven't pooped, you haven't taken a shit, whatever. You weigh more one day than you did the previous day. That doesn't mean it's fat, right? So you take the average for the week, and that's the best way to monitor your weekly progress. And so they do that here, where if I hit on, boom, each day when I weigh in, I'll put it. And at the end of the week, it'll take the average for me automatically, which is great. Then they have some more settings here for the food tracker app, where if you want your macros to be a moving target, where this feature sets new macro targets for you each day based on what you actually track. So if I go over my carbs today, it'll give me less carbs tomorrow so that at the end of the week, I'm still averaged out. Does that make sense? Which is a really unique feature. No other app has that. Then they have a carb and fat substitution, where this feature will allow you to substitute carbs and fat at any time, helping you stay within the compliant range for each. So if I went over my carbs one day, for example, right now, let's say I had too many carbs, I went over, and I could just slide it so that, okay, today I'm gonna have more fats then, because I need to make up for that, right? So you can turn that on if you want there. Again, that is talking about the food tracker app, which if I go too in depth, it'll be a long video. I'm already at 17 minutes. But overall, this is a great service. The reason I use it is because I don't wanna have to think about it. I don't wanna have to calculate my macros every single week, dependent on my weight every single week. I don't know how to do that, to be honest with you. I don't have a background in this stuff. I don't know exactly how many carbs I should be having if I want to maximize fat loss. Or when I do a bulking, okay, when I do a bulking phase and want to gain muscle, okay, what percentage of a surplus should I be in? 5, 10, 15%? When I'm doing a reverse diet, okay, how many calories do I add in each week? This lets me not think about that. I don't have to worry about it. Remember that willpower and decision-making is a finite source. I don't want to have decision fatigue all throughout the day or on a weekly basis trying to figure out my macros. I don't want to have to put brain power into it. I'm outsourcing it to Avatar Nutrition for $20 a month so they can calculate my macros for me every single week dependent on my progress, and I have access to their expertise whenever I need it. So it makes my job just so much easier. That's why I subscribe to it. There's probably some of you out there who love to do this stuff manually, who would love to just, maybe you're a coach yourself and you do this for other people. Then that's fine. Then maybe this app isn't for you. But for someone like me who's never tracked my macros before, who's never counted calories before, and who wants to learn what works best for my body, this is helping me do that. Because let's say ultimately, 2 years from now or a year from now, I don't want to have to use Avatar Nutrition anymore, because for this last year, it would be helping me learn my body via my macros. Does that make sense? I'm gonna learn what my maintenance is. I'm gonna learn how much to eat when I wanna put on weight. I'm gonna learn how much to eat when I wanna lose weight. And so eventually, I'm not gonna need this anymore. So it's really an education tool, as well as a let's work on your goals right now tool. So it's awesome, I love it. For $19.99 a month, it's simply a no-brainer. I just simply stopped paying for YouTube Premium and started using this because it's helping me get to my goals. So I hope that I gave you enough information and enough, behind the scenes look at Avatar Nutrition and what it's really like to be a user, so that you can make your own buying decision. If you want to check it out, links in the description. It's not an affiliate link or anything, but I do truly hope that I brought you value with this video. If you have any questions about the service, if I didn't cover anything, leave me a comment down below. I'll be more than happy to get back to you. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, I would appreciate if you did so. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed it, if I brought you value, and I would appreciate any interaction with me in the comments down below. And with all that being said, I will see you in next week's video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.